Now we're going to turn to how we deal with what are sometimes very difficult people. When we're in line management of staff, there's almost bound to be somebody who is hard work on your team. And so I've tried to pull together here a bunch of sort of hints and tips on how to manage with those more difficult people. First up is, of course, listen to them. Of course, what they're presenting to us is hard to cope with. We don't want to. And so there's a temptation for us to sort of shut down and to stop listening and just like, oh, it's him again. But actually we need to somehow, if at all possible, stay listening, giving them the ear that they need. They're obviously struggling with something, and as their line manager, it is our job to try and figure out if we can help them within the working environment. It is also important to give clear feedback. Sometimes we can be afraid to say things. I know I am. I really don't find it easy to do this myself, but I know that this is what we need to do. We need to be able to say, this behavior is problematic. This needs to change. This is really good. I love it when you do such and such, but this here, this needs to change. We also need to be very consistent with what we say and how we say it. That one day we don't say, this is not good, I don't like this. And the next day, it's fine. That doesn't work. You have to be consistent. If there is a particular behavior that needs to change, it needs to change. And there needs to be some sort of consequences of what's going to happen if I don't see the change. And you have to follow through on those things, but also being sure that you're following through on any policies that there are. If there are organizational things which are in place, make sure that you are following those lines and that you can't be accused of like, hey, why should I change my behavior? You don't even follow the policy. You have to make sure that you are above reproach, that you are definitely doing what needs to be done. But in the informal world, outside of the policies, be careful that you don't badmouth them, that you don't talk bad about them, that you don't say things about them, setting off rumours and so on. This is not fair. It's not how you would want to be treated, so don't treat them like that. Even when they are your difficult staff, talking behind their back to other people about them is not the right way to handle it. In fact, even how you talk to yourself about them is going to make a difference to how you think and how you feel and how you act. So I would recommend that you be careful with your own, what's called your own self-talk. Oh, grief, I can't believe I'm going to have to deal with George again. How you talk to yourself, it will influence you. So try and manage that self-talk. And of course, as you are having conversations with them, some will go well, some will go badly, but I would recommend do document the key points when you have an interaction with them, not necessarily a formal meeting, but just any time that you're interacting with this person, it may be good to keep a couple of little notes and say, date, time, this is what I said, this is what they said. Hopefully it doesn't come to it, but if this goes further, if you are not able to win them around, if you are not able to help them modify their behavior so that they fit in well with the team, if this does head towards a disciplinary issue, you need to have the documentation in place, because you cannot start a disciplinary process if you don't have some documented issues with which you're going to deal. And we will look at disciplinary issues in the next session.